Hello and welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. In this live, I'm going to talk about consistency. Or basically, I want to redefine consistency because a lot of people ask me this question. How do I stay consistent? How do I hold my energy high? How do I keep on creating? How do I keep on showing up? How do I keep on feeling inspired to do the damn thing? How do I run a business that requires consistency without losing the steam? All of these questions are extremely relevant because, yes, at times it might feel like, I just want to chill in bed, I just want to do nothing, or I have no inspiration whatsoever, or I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know what the next best steps are, and you feel you are stuck, you are stagnating in some way. So if this is how you feel, you're not alone, but you are in the right place, because my mission in this video is to break this myth about consistency and what it all means. So, to begin with, here's the thing. Consistency, it's not about discipline. It's not about forcing yourself. It's not about grinding. It's not about pushing yourself. It's not about putting yourself under any kind of pressure. It's not about being your own meanest teacher, parent, coach. It's not about kicking your own butt. It's none of that. It really isn't. What it is about, it's about you taking full ownership of your life. True consistency comes from within. So, if you don't feel like showing up, if you don't feel like creating, if something is missing, if you don't have inspiration, if you don't want to keep on creating the thing, what this means is that that's just a symptom of you not being in full alignment with your soul. That just simply means that you are not in your highest frequency, in the highest vibration. You are not in love consciousness. You are not in joy consciousness. You are not in peace consciousness. You are being sluggish. You are letting life force to be sucked out of you. You are somewhat low on energy because you are not in your soul. You're not connected. You're not connected to who you truly are. Because guess what? All of the excuses, all the procrastination, all of the thoughts and beliefs and lack of action comes from lower frequency, comes from the egoic mind. It comes from an underlying root cause of whether I'm not good enough. There is a story that you're just not a consistent person. There's a story that you are a procrastinator. There's a story of, I just can't succeed this way. I can't be sustainable this way. The thing is, if you identify yourself as someone who is not consistent, then quite likely you're not going to be consistent. But the thing is, it's not about forcing yourself to be one. It's a matter of you falling in love with life. It's a matter of you falling crazy in love with your craft, with your art, with your work, with your purpose. It's a matter of you falling in love with yourself. It's a matter of you falling in love with life itself. Because when you are in love with life itself, when you take full ownership over how you experience life, how you engage with life, that is when you become consistent. Voila. You become consistent not because you're forcing yourself, but because you can't not be consistent. Simply because you're truly in love with showing up. So, it's not an obligation. Being consistent, showing up and creating is not an obligation. This is something that so many individuals fall into as a trap. It's like, I feel like it's an obligation. I feel like I have to do this. It feels heavy on me. It feels like I have to keep up with it. It feels like, why do I have to keep on creating every single day? The thing is, it's not an obligation. Where is this story coming from? Usually, it comes from the past. In my case, it came from a story that I told myself that I'm an employee and I have to show up. Even if I don't feel like it, even if I don't want to wake up early in the morning, I have to go to work. And that is when this disciplined, harsh inner critic, inner coach was born. And that version of me thought that it was an obligation to show up every single day. And what that created, guess what? Resistance. I was repelling that thought, that force. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because I feel like I have to do it. Tell me if that resonates with you. Do you feel like you don't want to show up simply because you think you have to? And automatically, you, the rebel, don't want to show up because it sucks to do things because you think you have to. And instead, you decide, you know what? Actually, I don't have to do it. I'm not going to force it. I want to do it. I'm excited to do it. Why? Because it's who I am. It's fun. It's amazing. It's my life. I want to show up. I want to create. I want to inspire other people. I want to move the needle. It makes me feel amazing to keep creating, to keep doing it, to keep taking action. It moves the needle in the right direction. It gives me a sense of fulfillment. It gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me a sense of achievement. It feels amazing in my skin, in my body. Why wouldn't I show up? When you start redefining consistency this way, instead of being your worst enemy, being like, oh, you have to do it, like, there's this voice somewhere telling you that you have to do it, you should be doing it. And this time you're like, you know what? Actually, I don't have to do anything. If I wanted to, I could just chill all day long, meditate, go on hikes, watch TV, read a book, drink tea, have conversations with people, do random shit like this, and that's it. But I don't want to, because I have a bigger mission. I have a vision. I have goals. I have dreams. I want to be a different version of me, not the one who either resists being consistent just for the sake of resisting, or being the one who is just like going with the flow and it's like, oh, whatever, whatever happens, happens. No, you have life force inside of you. You have inspiration. You have a purpose. You have excitement. You have inspiration. You're like, oh, I want to live my life fully. You have zest for life to keep creating. Right? Hi, Toby. How are you doing? This is what it means to be truly consistent, because you're taking responsibility, not just to create something in order to get something in return, not just because you think you have to, not just, oh, well, I guess because I have a business now, or I have to attract clients now, or I have to make money now, I have to make a living. No, because it's who I freaking am. It's who I am. I want to create. I want to show up. I want to make a difference. Why wouldn't I show up if that wasn't the case? Hello. Great to see you, Chaos and Class. That's a cool handle. So, consistency, being consistent is not an obligation. You're not imprisoned. Nobody is chasing you. You have to do it now. Forget about it. If you have any of those kind of inner voices, let them go. They served a purpose in the past. Maybe you used to be a lazy bum. That's okay. Love that side of you too. But it's not who you are anymore. Being consistent means taking your life seriously, giving yourself love. It's really an act of self-love. Because when you're consistent in who you are being. You're no longer like, oh, I'm a lazy bum, but I'm also a high achiever. I'm a lazy bum, but also I do all these things. I don't want to do it, but at the same time, I want to do it. It's like, forget about it. You want to do it, right? I know you do. I know you want an amazing life. I want to achieve all these crazy, awesome things. I know you want to thrive. I know you want to succeed. I know you want to have an amazing lifestyle, live in amazing places, have incredible relationships. I know you want to feel fulfilled and joyful and just feel like, oh my God, I keep on doing all these awesome, crazy things. Like opportunities pop out of the blue. I have all these ideas and I execute those ideas, and that brings me forward every single day. So every time I put my head on the pillow at night, it just makes me feel like, oh, so much gratitude. I did this thing. I worked on this project. I helped that person. I made a difference. My dreams are coming true. It's getting closer and closer to where I want to be. It just fills my heart with joy and abundance of life. There's so much life inside of me because I keep on doing it, because I'm consistent in being truly me, my highest version of me. So often we fall into all these traps of procrastination and this and that, and I don't feel like it, and I don't all the excuses. I'm not even going to go in that direction. But we fall into those traps is because we're used to it. It's the old self speaking. The old self who was in lower vibration, who was still trapped in limitations, in doubts, in fears. But that's not who you are anymore. And the more you tap into your higher self, the more you tap into the one who is inspired, it no longer becomes a practice, a daily and momentary practice, but it literally becomes who you are because you solidify that new identity. And what happens then? You no longer have to redefine consistency. You don't even have to be consistent. Why? Because you just show up. It's like, that's who I am. Like, it's not even a topic for me. That's why whenever I get asked this question, it's like, I wonder, like back in the day, I wasn't consistent and I had a lot of resistance to be consistent. Then there was a phase when I was working on being consistent and I really had to build the muscle and keep on training myself. And at some point there was this tipping point when I realized, I no longer have to be consistent. I no longer have to try to be consistent. I no longer have to force myself to be consistent. I am that person. It's natural to me. It's organic. It's no longer a force. It's in my essence. That changes everything. This is so timely. I was contemplating why I wasn't being so consistent over the last couple of months, and I realized it was because I hadn't got it clear in my head why I was doing what I was doing. This is such a great realization. Now I wonder if you have that why crystal clear for yourself. It is extremely important to find the why, to connect with the why. What is my vision? What is my mission? Why am I doing this? Why am I creating this? Why am I showing up? Who am I being? And even more importantly, who am I becoming? Who am I creating myself to be? Who do I desire to be? When you become crystal clear on who you want to be, how you want to contribute to the world, what kind of legacy you want to leave, what kind of footprint you want to leave on this planet, that is when you become consistent. At first, like I said, it's a practice, it's a muscle. You keep on practicing, you keep on lifting the weights. And then over time, bit by bit, it's like, oh my God, I can't not do it. Do you know those examples when someone who is really athletic and they're exercising every single day? I know quite a few of such individuals who I was asking, like, how do you do this? How come you have so much energy and you really even can't not exercise? And they're like, you know what? I've been in some kind of sports every single day since I was 3 years old. I started with, I don't know, dance classes or with football or with basketball or volleyball or just whatever, break dance. And then every single day, it was a part of my being. I couldn't not move my body. I couldn't not exhaust my body in this way. And what happened as they were getting older, more mature, it never even crossed their minds that it's like, oh, maybe I should stop doing it. It doesn't work like that. When it's a part of your identity, it doesn't work like that because it's who you are. So that's why for those individuals, they don't even have to think about it. It's like, duh, yeah, sure. I mean, that's how I start my day, or that's how I end my day, or that's what I do at 5 p.m, or that's what I do after work, or that's what I do when I wake up, like whatever. That's what I do. That's who I am. Hi, Stefan. So good to see you. And always stay positive while being consistent. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is basically what I'm trying to explain here when it comes to redefining consistency. That at the end, it's not as much about what you're doing as it is about who you're being behind the scenes. Who are you being internally? Because when you're being positive, when you're being loving, when you're being kind, when you're being inspired, when you're being in your peace of mind, when you're being that person, then external consistency is going to happen automatically. Again, you don't have to force it in any way. So the first step is always to make sure that you're consistent internally. Are you consistently thinking the right thoughts? Meaning the thoughts that are bringing you to where you want to be. The thoughts that are bringing you to who you want to become. The thoughts that are reinforcing your new reality. The thoughts that are making you feel more elevated, more expanded, more creative, more productive. The thoughts that are actually making you feel excited about life. You wake up in the morning with gratitude, with excitement. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to create. I'm going to show up. I'm going to build relationships. I'm going to go to that place and talk to these people. I'm going to go to that event. That is absolutely crucial. Internal consistency, catching your thoughts so that whenever there is any negativity, any doubt, any fear, any insecurity, any limitation, any resistance, you know that it's not who you truly are. You know that it's just a program from your past. You don't resist it. It's like, okay, that's what's happening. Okay, fine. What do you need? Is there anything that you need right now? You start having these kind of internal conversations with yourself. What do you need right now? You're afraid? Okay. What is it exactly that you're afraid of? How can I support you? Can we do it anyway, even if you're afraid? Shall we jump? Shall we do it even though you're scared? Even though it's uncertain? Even though there's unknown? You have that conversation internally, and instead of rejecting that part of you who's like, oh, I'm too scared, it's like, okay, it's fine. It's okay. You don't judge yourself. You don't shame yourself for feeling the way you feel. You don't feel like you're being weak or vulnerable or anything like this. You're like, it's fine. It's good. We will do it anyway. I'll hold your hand. We will jump together. That's exactly what happened years ago, back in 2016, when I went to Portugal with my then partner for the first time in the south of Portugal, in the Algarve. And we were in this small, cute beach full of people. And this small, cute beach with rocks surrounding it, that one of the rocks had a path to go up where people were jumping off the cliff. And if you didn't know this about me, I'm a little bit afraid of depth. I can swim, but I feel extremely uncomfortable because when I was about maybe 7 years old or something like this, there was a birthday party with my family and their friends. And in that birthday party, there was a swimming pool, which is very luxurious for the type of lifestyle that my family had at the time, especially in Lithuania. When I was 7, that was like 1996 or something like that. And back then, having a swimming pool, are you kidding me? In Lithuania, that's like ultimate luxury. So anyhow, all the kids were playing in the swimming pool, and I was standing on the side of the swimming pool, and my brother pushed me into the swimming pool. And then I started gasping for air and like, and since that time, I am not comfortable with depth. So, back to the story. When I was there, standing on the edge of the cliff, my idea behind was to get over my fear of depth. So I was standing there. It was about 11 meters high. As you can imagine, I was completely terrified. I was like, oh my God, what if I will die? What if I can't swim? What if? And my boyfriend at the time, he was like, everything is going to be fine. I'll hold your hand. We'll do it. We'll do it together. And everyone was just jumping in front of me. They didn't have any problems. And I was there for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes trying to pull my shit together and jump into the unknown and get over my fears. And my boyfriend held my hand, and we did it. And I jumped, and I survived, and I didn't die. And yet, I still don't like water, and I still don't like depth. So this is what it means to give yourself love, to give yourself permission to be afraid and vulnerable and doubt yourself from time to time. So it was a way of me procrastinating. Well, now you know what to do, Toby. I think this is exactly what happened to me the last weeks. Yes, you were focusing on the right things, right? So you were looking for evidence that it's working. You were directing your thoughts in the right place. You were focusing on staying positive no matter what, not paying attention to what you were experiencing in your reality, even if it was somewhat undesirable. You kept on looking for evidence that it's working, it's working, it's working, it's working, as well as just generally raising your vibration to enjoy life, to feel great, to feel awesome in your own skin, to feed yourself with self-confidence and be like, I know who I am, I know I'm amazing, I know I have great things to offer. And it was this holistic approach of living your best life. Hello, Nat. And hello, Suhail. So good to see you. So, another thing that I want to talk about is something that I spoke in one of my previous lives, and that was about closing the gap between where you are, or between your life, your personal life, and your work. And that is something that I see so many people struggle when it comes to consistency. They think that they need to be consistent because they need to sit down from 9 to 5 or God knows how long and do the damn thing because it's the business. Business is somewhere there. And here's the thing. I want you to create a business that is an extension of who you are. And I spoke extensively on this in this previous live on business as a party especially. The thing is that I want you to fall in love with your work. I want you to not treat your work as something that is separate from you, as if it's something that you do when you have to do it. Your work, your art, your craft, your expertise is a part of your life. It's a part of who you are. It's not like, okay, this is my personal life and this is my work. I personally don't believe in such a thing as work-life balance, because work is a part of your life, isn't it? Life is a part of your work too, isn't it? You are part of your work, isn't it? You are part of your life. So how can you distinguish the two? How can you separate yourself from your work? So, when you close the gap between your life and your work, when you close the gap between you and your work, when you close the gap between you and consistency, there's no longer a need to force anything. Because it's who you are. Your work is who you are. You are your own embodiment. You are what you preach. Which basically means that consistency is no longer like, oh, my identity is that I'm not consistent. I keep on telling myself that I'm not consistent. I'm not doing the thing every day. I need to schedule it. I need to force it. I need to be disciplined. I need to push myself. No. If you treat yourself as if you're not consistent, then guess what? You're going to be inconsistent. If you're telling yourself that you are a procrastinator, that you tend to procrastinate, then guess what? You're going to procrastinate. If you keep on telling yourself that you are always constantly finding excuses, guess what? You will find excuses. But if you tell yourself that you are consistent in who you are consistency itself. You're like, this is my life. That's how I live my life. I am this person. Then again, there's no longer the separation between you and life, between you and work, between you and what you want to create, between you and your dreams. I want to really speak to this amazing success story about one incredible human being who is listening to this live right here, right now, who shared his mind-blowing success yesterday. I'm so freaking proud of you. I'm so freaking proud of you. So what happened? This individual took all of these teachings, not just listened to them, not just took notes, not just was like, okay, I will read it, I will listen, I will study, and then off I continue doing the thing that I always did. No, he took ownership. He was consistent in applying these teachings. And what happened over the last couple of weeks is that he signed 3 clients worth almost €1 million, which was a target for the next 3 years. I'm so freaking proud of you. You have no idea. This is the best testimony of how important this work is and what is possible. This is just the beginning, by the way. This is just the beginning. But this is a proof that when you do it, when you work, when you are consistent, when you're becoming that person, magic happens. So what happened there is that he literally collapsed time. He quantum leaped. So instead of going this linear way and grinding and forcing and being like, okay, over the next 3 years, I'm going to make this money, I'm going to get these clients, I'm going to keep on forcing, keep on grinding, just like it always has happened. I'm going to, like a worker, I'm gonna do it. And then bam, he was like, I collapsed time. Instead of grinding, I was the person to whom it happens, to whom magic happens, to whom it comes effortlessly. And then instead of 3 years, it happened within a couple of weeks. This is what it means to do this work. This is what it means to redefine consistency and redefine your relationship with everything, with yourself, with life, with surrendering to life, with your thoughts, with your beliefs, redefining who you're being, deciding what you desire. This is what it means to redefine your entire life and the way you see life, the concept of life. This is what it means when you transform the way you approach how you live, how you make decisions, how you respond to situations, whether or not you constantly feel like a victim to your circumstances, or you choose to always see the bright side and see lessons in it and learn from those lessons and improve and constantly incrementally improve. If you fall into the trap of some negative thought, that's fine. Like I said, hold your hand, love yourself, be kind, and keep on going. This is what this means. And here's the thing. When it comes to not just falling in love with yourself, your work, your life as a whole, but also when it comes to whether or not you are being the person who is consistent in all this, who is consistent in making your dreams come true. It's also a matter of, is it really truly important to you? Because guess what? if it really, really matters to you, if it's really, truly important to you from deep within, if you know that you're doing it for you, you're doing it for your future, you're doing it for the people that you love, you're doing it for the well-being of the world as a whole, if it's so truly important to you that I want this so much, I want to feel amazing, I want to create abundance, I want to feel joy, I want to feel peace, I want to feel like I'm in alignment with who I'm meant to be, who I'm meant to become. When it's truly important to you to live a life that you desire, you are going to be consistent. You are going to do the work. When your desire, when your vision is bigger than your present circumstances, when you marry your future, your vision, and divorce your past, and kind of, in a sense, ignore, or in other words, fully accept where you're at today with no judgment, that is when being consistent is a no-brainer. Being consistent is effortless because it's what you desire, it's who you desire to be, it's what you're creating, it's where you're going. It's not something that you need to force yourself to do. It comes from a place of inspiration. It comes from a place of really wanting that. I really want to live this way. I really want to believe that it's possible for me. Even if there's a part of me that doesn't believe it's possible, but I want to believe it's possible. And because I want to believe it's possible, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better that there's a brighter future ahead of me. That I can do all these crazy, awesome things. That there are opportunities around the corner. It makes me feel amazing that I know it's possible to build those kind of relationships. I know that it's possible that I land those opportunities. I know it's possible to collapse time. I know it's possible to quantum leap. I know it's possible to thrive without the grind, the force, the struggle, the suffering. Life is amazing. What if you gave yourself permission to be happy right now? What if you gave yourself permission to feel amazing in your own skin, to honor who you are, to honor your zone of genius? What if you gave yourself permission to focus on the right things and then see your reality shifting and then intentionally looking for evidence that it's working, that magic is happening? That is what it means to redefine consistency, to redefine the way you see consistency, to redefine your relationship with consistency. Because it's no longer something that you need to do. It's who you are. So that is it for today. Good to see you, Vikram. I hope you will watch the replay as you jumped quite late. But this is what I wanted to share with you today. I wish you a beautiful day and see you in the next live. Ciao, ciao.